and Caro Buono. They're all in line. They're off for the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance. And Migo is sent along from the inside. Proton's got some speed. Conducted is up and on the pace, and now will take over. Conducted to the front. With Proton settling back in second. Migo is third toward the inside. Italio is fourth. Behind them, Itzalak is fifth, racing for that first turn. They're being followed on the outside by Dr. Agne, who's three deep into the turn as Plutarch saves all the ground, and Caro Buono settles last early on. 10 lengths from top to bottom, and Conducted is up top. Ran an opening quarter mile in 23.69 seconds and heads to the backstretch 2.5 lengths in front of Proton in second. And then it's Migo third toward the inside. Break of 2.5 back to Italio, side by side with Itzalak, who's down toward the rail. In behind them, the pair of Dr. Agne and Plutarch, who are 7 lengths behind and clear of Caro Buono. Continuing up the backstretch, Conducted all the way so far. Clicks off a 48.77 half mile and leads the way into the far turn under Hector Barrios with a 2-length lead. And now Proton getting a bit closer now in second, moving for the far turn. Migo third to the inside, coming under a ride. Itzalak is fourth by 2. Plutarch still 5 lengths to make up with an inside trip. They have Conducted to catch as they come to the top of the stretch, and Proton ranges up alongside. Conducted, still a furlong to go, still in charge here. Conducted's got something left. Set those easy opening fractions and is 2 in front of Proton coming down to the wire, and it will be Conducted to go all the way over Proton. Third is a head bob that looks like it goes to Plutarch in a photo with Dr. Agne.
Hector Barrios with absolute larceny here in the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance, gets the lead at a short price and never looks back.
So often the case, Christina, when we discussed it, when you look down on the page, you see 3 horses that look like they're going to go to the lead. Everyone's got the same idea. We don't want to get tangled up in a pace duel. Let's take back. It leaves somebody on the lead, and that was Conducted today, who just walked around there.
Ended up slowing it down to the half, again slowing it down to the 3/4, and he was very, very comfortable under those fractions. The son of Mendelssohn, Hector Barrios, doing a nice job with this runner. Proton made a little run at the top of the stretch there, tried to go on by, but after setting a tempo like that, Conducted had plenty left to finish with, and he should have. He is now 2 for 4 lifetime and a stakes winner with this Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance victory.
As Conducted scores here in the silks we saw in Big Brown back in the Kentucky Derby in 2009. Now we're looking at Conducted as your winner here for O.J. Haragi. Back-to-back victories, broke the maiden and then scores against Stakes Company. Off odds of 8-5. Still have a photo on the tote board for that 3rd place money, but Proton a bang up second here at 6-1.
Yeah, big effort from Proton, who sat a little closer to the pace than I actually thought he would, but it served him well in the end because those early fractions were so slow.
They ran 1-2 around the racetrack, Mike, the top 2 finishes. You know, the only closer was Plutarch. There is an inquiry sign that's been posted.
I think it might have something to do with the ride on Dr. Agne.
Please note there is a steward's
Plutarch.
inquiry in this race. It does not involve the first 2 finishers. There is a steward's inquiry, but it does not involve the first 2 finishers. Hold all tickets until the race is official.
So let's take a look at the head on here, and you'll see Flavien Prat can't quite get out on Plutarch, and Jose Ortiz is trying to keep this one hemmed in. I'm not exactly certain which rider they're holding at fault or how these 2 finished, because they were nose and nose when they hit the wire.
Right there was a big bump that was right on top of the wire. These 2, watch the turquoise silks, the blue and the orange silks. They're kind of going at it. Flavian's trying to get out, contact there. Jose Ortiz on the outside, there's another contact there. I think it's more Plutarch coming out than the 8-horse coming in.
Well, I think that Itzalak, Irad Ortiz along the inside, was coming out into the 9-horse as well.
Domino effect?
Caro Buono. So you had the Ortiz brothers on either side, and there was a lot of tight action in between. But it's hard to say, I watched it twice now, who is at fault here. You can see Flavian's trying to fight his way out. Irad comes bouncing there.
He's leaning all over Plutarch.
Yeah, the 9-horse Caro Buono is, I'm sorry, that's Tyler Gaffleone. He was leading all over Plutarch from the inside, and the 8 Dr. Agne was leaning all over from the outside.
everybody was going for the same spot, essentially. And as they came around the turn on the outside with the 8 horse, Jose Ortiz was the horse that originally had that path. It looked like there was room for Plutarch right here as they come around the turn. Yes, there's a little angling to try and get around, you know, that next pair of horses, which is normal. But then as you see the 9 Caro Bueno try to sort of join the party and also make room for 2 horses to go through that spot, that's where it gets very, very tight. In this case, I think it's just the way the race unfolded. I don't know that I'd make any kind of a change in here. Yes, there was a pretty significant bump on the wire, but at that point, I think it was as they literally hit the finish, it didn't really affect the outcome.
I'm not certain what you would do in this instance. It'd be a hard argument to take Plutarch down and place him behind the 8 or the 9. But the stewards, with their due diligence, they will take a look at it, and they're hanging the sign to see if there is a decision to be made. Simon, how do you see it?
Well, I see the 9 getting out. It's like the 9 in the yellow and purple silks is trying to make room. He goes into Plutarch a little bit, but I think the hole was running faster than the horse at that point for the 9. To be honest with you, I don't think there was the 9, Tyler Gaffney. I don't think he had enough horse to go up in there.
We are looking at the same thing that the stewards are here, that head-on view, the pan view, and here's the tower view from behind to see if it's any more telling.
Yeah, so you can see it's really the 9 horse with Tyler Gaffney where it gets tight there, trying to create some room for himself. And he's not even really able to kind of persevere and to really ride to improve his position at that point because there just wasn't any room. He sort of bounces back and forth across a couple of other runners. That last bump, it's the most visually jarring of the entire kind of replay there with the 8 and the 5 coming together. But again, it's just on the wire as it happens.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember, if you're not familiar with the rules out here in California, obviously in the United States, for our European viewers, it's different from state to state. But out here in California, what the stewards look at, does the interference cost the horse that was interfered with a better placing? And to your point with that last bump, I don't think it cost the horse a better placing because they were right on top of the wire.
And I almost think it's maybe the jump after the wire, because watch the body language of both the riders on the outside 2 horses here. It's right when they sort of stand up and stop trying to maintain a straight path with their horses that they come together a little bit more.
Taking another look, deep stretch here. See where that bump happened right at the wire. And if it was before or after, it was literally right as they hit the wire.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they're going to make no change. I don't know that you can hold Plutarch feet to the fire for the move he was trying to make in the turn. I think he was joined by Tyler Gaffney trying to go for a hole that wasn't there. Irad joined the fray and made things a little bit tighter with Jose on the outside of that quartet. Deep stretch. I think you got to leave it alone, but I'm not a placing judge, nor am I a steward.
Yeah, they're looking at down the stretch here on the bottom right. You watch what happens as they cross the wire. Flavien Prat is going to run up on the heels of the 4 because the jockey's standing, that horse is coming into his face so quick, he has to angle out. So it happened after the wire. To what happened at the top of the stretch, personally, I don't think anyone was cost a better placing.
I don't either, and I think it's just race riding at that point.
Yeah.
And look, this is what we had a scratch in here. We have 8 horses. We're going to have 14 runners in the Breeders' Cup races on the turf course outside of the juvenile turf sprint, where we'll have 12. There's going to be these little traffic incidents when you have full fields on the turf course.
Yeah, this is only 8 runners. Imagine later today when we have 14. It can get trafficky. So can Southern California. And there you see, I mean, that bump happened literally as their noses were on the wire. The race was over when it happened.
Exactly. I think watch the 4 horse come out. Flavian's going to worry. He's going to go right here. So he angles just to the outside of him. He doesn't want to run up on his heels. So to avoid that, that's exactly what happened here.
It was an eventful stretch run, but I think at this point,
this is an easy call, right?
There should probably be no change.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think the 9 caused his own problems.
Waiting the stewards to make a decision here in the second race of Future Stars Friday as we go to the drone view once again. I'm with you, Christine. I think you had two horses, 2 riders going for the same hole. Jose was maintaining his path.
Which is what he should do. That's the favorite to your inside. You don't want to easily let the favorite out when you have that path.
Right. You can maintain your position. It's not gentleman's racing.
It's not gentleman's racing. Absolutely not. Even though they are fine gentlemen off the racetrack. So we're still waiting a decision here from the stewards. The unofficial order of finish, 2, 4, 5, 8, 9, as they are looking into the instant between Plutarch, Dr. Agne, and Carabono.
Ladies and gentlemen, please note that there will be no change to the order of finish. The result will stand 2, 4, 5, 8, 9.
And after much deliberation, I concur, and I believe the stewards made the right call.
Yeah, got a lot of folks here like, yeah, that's what it should have been. But obviously they're going to take their time on a big weekend, make sure everybody is on the same page. So no change, right call.
Conducted, your unofficial winner of the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance, and now make it official.
Yeah, so you can see it's really the 9 horse with
And now entering the winner's circle, conducted number 2, a 2-year-old bay colt by Mendelssohn out of Marvelous Spot by Arch. Conducted was bred in Kentucky by Mockmer Hall, now owned by Eplin, Spencer, and Ivorone. Trained by O.J. Harrigy, your winning jockey, Hector Barrios. Conducted number 2 was first, 4 Proton second, 5 Plutarch third, 8 Dr. Agne fourth, 2, 4, 5, 8, your top 4 finishers. And this race is now official. Final time, 1 minute 36.53 seconds. Conducted, pays $5.40 to win. Early daily double, $60.20. Up next is race number 3, the Golden State Juvenile Fillies. They're going 7 furlongs. Scratch number 2, Sea Drew, 23 minutes until race 3.